Sonic the Hedgehog is a series that probably doesn't need introducing at this point. Running for nearly 25 years, we've seen it reach so many highs and lows that it's often hard to keep track. And with the series going through a modern day renaissance thanks to Frontiers and the movie trilogy, I want to talk about one thing in particular. It's music. It pretty much seems that no matter what Sonic game you're playing, you're bound to find a collection of really great songs. Heck, even the worst games in the series have some iconic and or memorable songs under their belts. And one such game that I feel has one of the best soundtracks in the series is 2008's Sonic Unleashed. Despite the game's extremely mixed reception upon release, I'm glad that many people in the fanbase began to agree that, despite its shortcomings, it's a very welcome entry to the series, and its soundtrack is absolutely no exception. From the upbeat and fast-paced thrill of the daytime stages, to the more chilled and often mysterious vibe of the night stages. There is not a single bad track to be found in this game. Heck, even the one song that's intentionally made to be bad has a lot of charm to it. I love this game, and even to this day, it still stands as my favourite game in the entire series, and its music is the number one reason as to why I have it in such high regard. However, there's one song from this game in particular that really made me love this game more than anything I had played until that point. And if you've read the title of this video, you should already know which song I'm talking about. Dear My Friend is a song that I absolutely did not expect to come out of this series, or even this game at such a point in time. In a series with bangers like Live and Learn and What I'm Made Of, a song like this is such a stark contrast in comparison to them. But yet, despite such a huge change in melody, Dear My Friend very quickly, if not instantly, wound up becoming not just my favourite song in the game, but in the whole series. So, let me explain to you why that is. Before I get into the song itself, some context is going to be needed first. The year was 2011, a year that I consider to be the biggest change in my entire life, even if it didn't start off well. The year had barely begun, and I had the unfortunate news come that a childhood friend of mine had passed away from a condition that was discovered too little too late. I was only 13 at the time, so not exactly the best age when it comes to going through such a moment in life. By the way, did I also mention that I have autism? This young age, coupled with my diagnosis, really did a number on my emotional state for a while, as one would expect. I did somehow manage to move on from this experience and ultimately thought less about it. Didn't exactly wanted to think about what was then the saddest moment of my life after all. Then a few months later, something interesting happened that not even my mother or I even expected. Religion entered my life. To keep a long story short, there was a message that I overheard one day of death not being the end. Life after death, if you will. And hearing it touched my heart. It was something that resonated with me and was what I needed to hear given the most recent events in my life. And it was because of that message that made me turn to that faith, which I still practice to this day. So now that I've helped set the scene, let's fast forward to Christmas that year when I received Sonic Unleashed for the Nintendo Wii. As every kid would after getting a new game, I played the heck out of it, blasting myself through the day stages and hacking and slashing through Dark Gaia minions in the night stages. I enjoyed pretty much every moment of this game. I continued to play it into the new year, which would be when I first beat the game, and to say that I was well satisfied would be an understatement. Normally I would get rather emotional after having beaten the game, possibly thanks to the music that would often play during the credits, but with Sonic Unleashed, how could that be the case? I was happily singing away to the main theme of Endless Possibility, an incredibly upbeat song that helped capture Sonic's character to a T. How could I get emotional at all? This was the perfect song to end an incredible game. At least, that's what I thought at first. Until a new song started playing. When that opening piano began playing, I was taken aback. Wait, What is this? What is this slow-sounding music doing after having listened to such an absolute banger of the song? It was not what I was expecting to hear, especially given that my then understanding of Sonic music was just high-energy filled hit after hit. But not this one. It was slower, softer, and filled with a nostalgic feeling that was much sadder than what I would expect from this series. And then the singing started. Performed by Brent Cash, the song that I would later come to know as Dear My Friend was originally made to be from the perspective of Sonic's friend of the adventure, Chip, who we also discover to be Light Gaia, the counterpart of Dark Gaia. The song itself talks about the time in which he had with Sonic throughout this adventure, and despite it being brief, he truly cherished every single moment he could with Sonic, even after he had regained his memories. It's the kind of song that makes me think about the cutscene he and Sonic had before going to Eggman Land, where Chip thanked Sonic for all the time they spent together before attempting to leave to finish his duties like Gaia. Only for this to happen.
Whoa, what? Where do you think you're off to all by yourself? What? But my memory is back now, and, well, from here on out, it's my responsibility, so, there's no reason for you to come along, so I should just... Do I need a reason to want to help out a friend? Thanks, Sonic.
What a powerful exchange. Being there to help out not just friends in need, but anyone and everyone that needs such help is just perfect for Sonic's character. He may still be cocky at the end of the day, but as we've seen countless times in countless games, he really cares for his friends, no matter how long he has known them for, and it perfectly fits for the context of this song. But there was more to this brief friendship that stood out to me in this song. It was the lyrics. What must have felt like the first time in my life, I paid special attention to them. Oh boy, I can already feel the emotions kicking in. Good times and bad times, I can count on being with you. I thank you for staying so true. My life will go on a long time, have to catch up again when I see you. And you are my reason I can make it through. Remember that friend of mine I mentioned earlier? When I heard those lyrics for the first time, a rush of thoughts suddenly began flowing through my head. Thoughts of that one exact friend, which only continued to grow the more I listened to the lyrics. I will give my word that I will come in time to rescue. My heart will always be with you. I'm so glad I met you, being with me wherever. We're made for each other forever. At that moment, that very line, the memories started flooding in. The times we spent during school break playing together, the joy in their face that never seemed to disappear no matter what day I saw them. And then in comes the first chorus. Frickin' hey, that first chorus. I know life can be tough on you time and time again. Laughter may be gone away. I still remember those feelings of sadness when the news came out of their passing, and how it returned with a vengeance during the day of their funeral. It felt that there was a huge hole inside of me that couldn't be filled, even as time came and went. But if there's anything that I learnt about grief over time, it's that it can always be drowned out with the joyous moments of our past that we can think back to, especially when we lose someone so close in our lives. We may still cry during those times, but as long as we have those happy memories to look back to, we don't need to do so with sadness. I will wipe away my tears tomorrow. Life must go on. That's the reason that you travel away. Travel away? Yeah, I guess you could say they did that. But passing away is just a little bit different than merely traveling, isn't it? At the same time though, it almost isn't. They've now traveled to a place free from the agony they suffered before their tragic death, and everything else that this world might have thrown their way. Something I realize now more than I did at that point, as someone who was just then building up their faith bit by bit. Then in comes the next part of the chorus that truly broke me. I will be there if you need me, and I know you'll do the same. I can see you, I can hear you in my heart. You will be here if I need you. I will never have to guess, because we are very special friends. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Was it truly possible? That even after all this time, despite no longer being on this earth, that they were speaking to me from beyond the grave? Not only thanking me for helping make their life special, but also that they were still thinking of me from above? It was at this moment that I started crying. I had never anticipated such an emotional and touching message to come out of a video game, let alone from Sonic the Hedgehog. All of those memories flooding back into my mind and bringing me to tears. At that moment, I completely forgot that I had indeed played a Sonic game. It could have ended here and I would have still been sold on this song alone. But yet it didn't. It kept on going. And it continued to destroy my soul. So send me a letter. Let me know how you're doing. You are my lifetime and true friend. We'll never be forgotten. Having trust is all we may need. You are always with me in the life I lead. That last statement couldn't have been more true to me. We're both so far apart. Me living my own life here on Earth, and my long-lost friend enjoying theirs in the afterlife. But yet, despite us being so infinitely separated, we're never truly far apart, are we? As someone of faith, I have felt a strong and warming presence during times of loss and hardship, especially when I overheard that truly comforting message back then. So even though they're gone, I can still feel their overwhelmingly kind spirit watching over me from afar. So far, far away from life I used to know. Worries are too far too. My friend must have had a joyous life before passing on. My mother always said that they never had a bad bone in their body, and with all the times that I met them, it was so true. They were truly one of the purest people I had ever met in my then young life. And those worries we all had when we all received the news of their life-ending diagnosis? Yeah, not much that I need to say here, since they do all the talking for me. But now those worries are all gone, replaced with peace and endless joy. At least, that's how I understand it. I will stop and close my eyes, remember, and at the rainbow, I can take you. I will catch it for you. This line made me realize something. It's okay to look back at the times you spent with those important in your life, even if they do bring you to tears. I've seen it firsthand as to how powerful those moments of reflection can be, thinking back to the memories you had of those special people. Moments of laughter and happiness, sorrow and comfort. It's always hard thinking back to those people who we can never truly see again, but that's okay. They would never want us to forget about them, even if remembering them brings the tears back. So as long as we can still remember them after all this time, after so many years since they left our lives, well, isn't that really all that matters in the end? Memories you can recall with me any time of day. You can reach out. You can ask me in your soul. I will answer when you call me. I will come, no matter how. Because we are very special friends. I truly find it a blessing that no matter how down we can get during times of loss, we can turn back to those memories we had of those we lost in our lives and fondness. Memories that one can truly cherish and reflect upon. Not with sadness, but with fondness and joy. This was something I never realized at such a time, but with the knowledge that I now have, I suppose that my emotional reaction to those lyrics were also of joy. That friend of mine was a truly happy soul, and even though they're gone, I could still imagine him with that same bright energy, resting well from on high. Yes, it's still sad, soul-crushing even, to see someone so close to you pass on. But that's why we all gather to funerals, isn't it? To reflect, remember, reminisce, and share our joys with those lost people in our lives. Just like a river that flows, just like stars in the dark of night. Lead me in the storm, lead me in the dark. You are the light of my life. Yep, that'll do it. That'll break the waterworks beyond repair. I was an absolute sobbing mess during this part, and still to this day I cannot think about this song without crying. I'm still in tears as I'm recording this. I even had to take a break, as you already heard. Oh boy, what is this song? Having that special someone in our lives, whether they be friends or family, being that important to us, that they help bring us out of those dark moments and into the light of a loving embrace. This was me right there. Having turned to a state of grief from memories back then, they were still there, bringing me out of that darkness of sorrow and back into the light of joy. I never knew how much I needed to hear a song like this until it got to that point. And now, thanks to this song and my ongoing faith, I no longer see death as a sad thing. It's inevitable, but if one thing is certain to me, it's that when that time comes again for another person close to us, or even ourselves, go on to our final rest, then the best thing you can do is look back at those times you had and hold on to them with all of your might. Not just with tears, but with fondness and happiness. From here, the song repeats its two choruses before ending, where I continue to sit in tears even after the credits rolled. But at that point, my outlook on life and death had changed greatly. It was no longer just about the peace I got knowing that there is life after death, but also from the memories we can recall and look back on from the people that we have lost in our lives. This has rung especially true to me, as I have since attended 2 additional funerals, with the most recent being for my own grandmother. I still get sad looking back knowing that I can never see any of those people again in this life, but thanks to this song, I could look back on those precious moments we had together before saying to myself, friend, grandma, whoever you may be, and wherever you are, thank you for entering my life and for filling it with your light and love. I never thought that I would see myself crying over Sonic Unleashed for the PlayStation, Xbox 360, and Nintendo Wii until that very moment of January 2012. If it wasn't obvious by now, I absolutely love this song. It means more to me than I ever thought it would. It's a song of reflection and emotion, which can fill even some of the most wounded of souls with a sense of love, joy, and peace from the people in their lives that truly care for them. Right before the year ended, I made a tier list of as many vocal songs as possible from the Sonic series, some of which went as high as double S tier. Dear My Friend, however, stands alone at the very top in triple S tier. It is that meaningful to me. No other song in this series, at least to me, can ever come close to the pure emotion and heartbreaking joy that comes with its melody. I'm glad that the series has since managed to add in its own emotional songs as of recent, especially with Frontiers giving us Dear Father and a vocal version of I'm With You. If the series is able to continue giving us hard-hitting songs like these, then that will truly be something I will look forward to with open arms. But until then, I will always turn back to the one song that I feel started it all, and ultimately changed my perspective of life and death for the better. And that song is Dear My Friend, my favorite Sonic song of all time. Thanks for watching this video. I never thought that I'd see myself making a video like this, but I'm honestly glad that I did. It's a part of my life that I wanted to share with you all due to how powerful it's been to me personally. And whether or not I'll continue to make essay videos like this in the future, I'll at least be happy knowing that I made this one out of them all. If this video was something you enjoyed, then consider leaving a like, dropping a comment on your own thoughts, or even what your favorite Sonic song is, following my affiliate links in the description, or subscribing to my channel. And a big thank you also to my Patreons, Horizon Crab and Zach, for continuing to stick with me for so long, despite my infrequent schedule. See you all next time, folks. This is Jose Orcalcom, signing out.